one, we getting fly again. One by 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 one, we getting fly again. Well, it's time to get fly again. As if I never flown. Foot said, let's go. So now I gotta flow. And I'm a roll with the niggas who been rolling about every day. From around the way. One by one, let's do the break of dawn until we get it done. See, I found the true soldiers. Sucker, see you later. I love the act of treason, but I hate a traitor. So take it any way you wanna. My good friend, but if you just do one more time, you will see me again. Or rather, me and my crew. I never know what they do. I just get the okay, then look
Welcome to the GoWIN Radio Show right here on GoGo Radio Live. I'm your host, Nico the Go-Goologist. My hostess, Miss Lady, will be in the building in a hot second. But today, we are celebrating one of the greats to ever walk in the D.C. streets right here. Definitely within the go-go community. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And we talking about the one and only Mr. Donnell Floyd Sr., or better known as D-Floyd.
What's up, Nico? How you feel?
Man, I'm feeling real good. A little hype right now, man, because everything, I've been, doing a lot of research and taking time out to make sure, like, this interview is what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And because I've been following you and your trench within the go-go community and doing what you've been doing since '83, right?
Depending on when you're counting. I got it rare since '83. I started playing the go-go bands in '79.
Okay. And first band I recall Chance Band, correct?
Chance Band, Bobby Smoot, Troy Smoot.
Right. And so, but right now we gonna get ready for your grand finale.
Yes, sir.
And it's been a lot of talk about that, man. But let's get right to it right now. This Sunday, you got the biggest show to come to D.C., at least in the biggest venue for sure in D.C. And we're talking about at the Anthem this Sunday, D-Floyd's grand finale, the last show. That's what you've been coining it as. And of course, a lot of people say, it's not his last show. It's not his last show. He putting too much money into this situation for it not to be his last show. He'd be a fool for it not to be.
Right.
So tell us what you got going on this Sunday, the time, how they can get tickets, all of that.
All right, so this Sunday we at the Anthem, November 24th at the Anthem. Lettucey's going to get down with us. We had a little song together some years ago, Dougie Fresh. And hell, me and Dougie go all the way back to 1985 when we first met. He's getting down with us, Raheem Devon. Man, been knowing Raheem forever since he was, when he first came out, they did this show in front of the Capitol Center, and we did the same show in front of the Capitol Center. I always thought he was an incredible talent, and he's a cemented guy in this nation's capital. Raheem Devon is going to be on the show. Teo is going to be on the show. He's a great talent. And my man, Kenny Sway.
Teo from formerly from Drew Hill, correct?
Yeah, And my man Kenny Sway, man. If there's a guy that can out sing him, show me. I mean, that boy Kenny Sway is something crazy.
Yeah.
So we gonna get down, man. And then I got a lot of specially invited guests that's gonna get down with me. Big G, Wincy, my man Sugar Bear, Rapper Dude, and I got a little section where, cause I'm a two, so to speak. And a lot of people don't know what that is, but that means originally I'm the rapper in the band. And they always call that the two. The talker is the one, the rapper is the two, the singer's the three. And so I got a section called Who's the Best? I Want the Best to Come Test Me. And my 4 favorite rappers are going to be there. 32, Los from Backyard, Killer Kyle, and Steve Roy. So we're just going to have some fun with that, man. And Stevie Wonder's supposed to be in the building. Hopefully Stevie Wonder makes it. I know he's having some health issues. But he said he plans, everything about him says he plans to be there. And that'll just be incredible. He's been my all-time favorite artist ever. And that'll just be incredible if he makes it in. And, man, other than that, we got the people of the DMV, which is nothing but the best people, the best fans, the best followers of anything that I've ever seen. I mean, Redskins been losing for 20 or 30 years, and they still got their Redskin hats
since
on.
99.
So, man,
since Snyder grabbed them.
That's how they embrace me, and that's how they embrace go-go. And, I mean, we're just going to have an unbelievable family reunion.
Well, before we start getting into the interview real deep, how can they get tickets to this epic event?
All kind of ways to get tickets. They can go to find my man Jahar Abraham, who got tickets. Los from 100 Proof has tickets. Kirky, Married to the Game, has tickets. Mo Kemp, Brotherly Love, has tickets. Barry D, Madness. Well, he represents so many different things.
I'm telling you.
He got tickets.
Mr.
Everybody,
No Filter.
Yeah. Strong Minds got tickets. And the easiest way is come pay at the door. You know what I mean? You can come pay at the door. Don't get no easier than that. Or there's a ticket booth right outside of the Anthem. They can go anytime and get their tickets. Ticketmaster has tickets. But I did want to say that there was some aftermarket tickets that was pricing this thing way up too high.
Really?
And so I seen 150, 160, Seat Geek and all of that stuff. And I just want to make sure everybody knows that don't go out there purchasing tickets that high. But I do have the list of the people selling tickets on my Instagram. That's Donnell Floyd Sr. on my Instagram and on my Facebook, Donnell Floyd Sr. again. And so just in case you didn't hear what I said, you can go check it on my Instagram page, my Facebook.
Okay. With that, I want to go back to what you was talking about as far as your favorite rappers. What are you calling that again?
Who's the best? I want the best to come test me.
That used to be one of your lyrics in
06 is mine.
Yeah. So, what made you want to put that together?
That's what I represent. I'm a lead microphone now, but I made my bones being a rapper, and it's fun. You know what I mean? Like the drummers got the Breakfast Club. Why can't the Twos have their own little fraternity? You know what I mean?
Right.
Drummers Breakfast Club. Yeah. Why can't we have our own little thing?
You definitely should, because last time you was here, when we was promoting the Rare Essence Team Familiar at Echo Stage, we talked about, well, at least I mentioned to you, as far as the importance of how you changed the game. You said Lil Benny was probably the most prominent two mic of all, and Lil Benny, to me,
was a one, right?
Yeah. Well,
people look at him as a one.
Well, no, because when I first saw Rare Essence, and it was my first go-go, River Terrace, 1980, and it was Benny and Funk, but they traded off. So I didn't understand all of that at that time. But Benny always captivated me, and it's his style, how just how he was, and I didn't really get into funk till I got older, and because Funk's style kind of lent to that, because he had a little old school style with him, and at that time in '80, I guess Essence was out with about 3-4 years tops, and so. I only understood, and just watch how Benny's style was and his showmanship and everything.
Yeah, Benny was crazy. Benny was unbelievable.
But you, in my eyes, and I'll do a Jahar right here, I dare anybody to say otherwise, because he's never wrong,
right.
But in my eyes, changed how the two mic was ran. And everybody kind of followed your style afterwards. And whether you take credit for that or not, it doesn't matter. Just like I said, that's through my eyes.
Right.
So, with you doing this, with the two mics and whatnot, I think is really good. So, with that being said, right now in the game, what do you think about how go-go is being perceived from the time when you was doing it to right now?
I think it's hard to say. I think as we sit here locally, it seems to be going down a tad bit, where I thought when go-go was at its peak, I thought you'd have 15 to 20,000 people in the streets on a given week. And now I think you probably have far less, maybe 5 to 10,000 people in the streets on a given week. And what I mean is, your backyard, 500 people to come see you on Thursday night, and Rare Essence has another, 400 people to come see him on a Thursday night, and on Friday night, 400 people come see him Team for Me. So that's how I'm coming up with the number.
Right.
And so I just think, as a general rule of thumb, is far less people per week that comes out to party. And so I think in that regard, DC is go-go is losing a little bit of steam. But on a national regard, I mean, Sugar Bear and James Funk was just on the BET Awards, so you really can't ask for more than that. The whole Don't Mute DC campaign and stuff like that is giving us that national prominence that we need. That's the kind of thing that you need to, to keep this thing rejuvenated.
What was your favorite era of go-go? Because you've been, I talk about Mickey, and I'm the one that gave him that nickname, the GOAT. We was up marigolds, and but him doing what and Bugs, far as being able to be relevant over the early days of go-go to right now. Out of all of that time, what was your personal, because everybody got, feel the way they feel. What was your personal favorite era of go-go?
And so, and it's a little interesting. So I'm not sure that my favorite era of go-go is going to match my favorite, the best time for me. Oh, the best time for me is easiest, which is when I started my own organization, 2001, 911, Familiar Faces, because it was a personal accomplishment. I wasn't under nobody else's roof. I built my own house, and I kept it strong. So that's easily going to be the best time for me. Probably the funnest time in go-go is the earliest part of it, early Rare Essence. You don't have a whole bunch of bills you got to pay. We in our early 20s or teenagers, and we just having fun, running the streets, playing music in front of massive crowds. You know what I mean? So funnest.
So when you say early, are you talking about 85 and before?
Yeah, anything in that ballpark. Anything. I came into Rare Essence in 83 to 90, when you didn't have no responsibilities. You just having fun, making music, creating music. Yeah, but I'm different. I don't know that I can identify anything that I like better than anything else. I loved it all. Somebody was saying, "Are you going to have fun your last show?" Man, I have fun every show. I mean, every show somebody got dressed, went and picked up a buddy, stopped at the ATM, got some money, came to the door, paid, went to the bar, and stood in front of me hoping that I would make their day better. And so anytime that was the case, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, I enjoy it. I enjoy making people have fun. They come to us as go-go musicians. They come to us with their life. Like, my homie just died. You know what I mean? And we all here to celebrate him. I know you're going to party. So they come to us in the worst of times. They come to us in the best of times. I just graduated from Howard University. They got their cap and gown on, and they come to party. And so people just, as entertainers, I mean, we just got that responsibility to give them everything we got every night that they come out, because they made a commitment to us, and we got to make the commitment to them.
I always thought one of your best assets was off mic. You were so entertaining when it wasn't necessarily pertaining to you. Far as you, mm-hmm. And I think this is what's great about go-go, because of exactly what you're talking about. Unlike any other music genre in the world, you don't interact with the audience like go-go.
I agree.
And you always, till this day, and I don't hear it no more on go-go, far as people just bringing up general conversation, far as like, how your day was going, far as what happened with you, and you kind of like intertwine that with the show, and that's what go-go to me is really missing, that connectiveness. Mm-hmm. And you've always made that part of your show from back when you was just Puff Daddy, and Funk's nickname for you. You know what I'm saying? To because like, and I say that because like Funk was running at one, and he brought you in when he brought you in, but you was always had some commentary off mic. And it was, you always heard it, and I always loved that, because to me, that's what kind of made it what it was, made it special.
Right.
So with that being said, what was your favorite band that you ever played with, and who was the members?
So, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that, because I found something special in almost all the bands. But again, if I did that, I would make it something about the first and the last. I thought the most talented band ever assembled was Foots, Jungle Boogie, David Green, Bighorn, Scotty, Mark Lawson, James Funk, White Boy, Funky Dead, me, Lil Benny, Bighorn. I just thought that the talent in that band was just unbelievable, and I was just a young musician just trying to learn, how to keep up. And on the flip side, this band that I'm in now, Team Familiar, never one inkling of any kind of discord. Jammin' Jeff, Go-Go Mickey, hell, now Kirky, Mike Arnold, Ant Farm, Sean Geeson, definitely my man Steve Roy, Kesey, Kendra. Man, we have so much fun. Man, we just laughing on stage and acting silly. People see us, they always try to figure out what me and Steve be doing, but we be competing. Like, he'll say, man, you only did 2 songs, man. When you gonna wake up? Like, and I'll be like, nah, I did 20 songs. And we just have such a great time. I don't know that I've ever been in a band that didn't have, where everybody genuinely loved everybody. And so I like the first band and the last band. I like them all. I played with some great musicians. I played with some great singers. The showmanship of a Little Benny, the overall unbelievable talent of Scooby. Foots. It's impossible. It's impossible. If I didn't even make it to Sunday, I'm happy. Like I done did it with the best of them, and I don't have nothing to be mad about.
Let's stay right there with Steve Roy real quick.
Okay.
I remember when Subtle we were still, when I was co-managing with Walker Reds.
Right.
And as we were still doing our thing, and the rumor was out, it was in the streets were buzzing. D-Floyd's getting ready to come back. Because at that time, you had took a break. And I'm going to come back to that as well.
Okay.
But when you took that break and you came back, we was petrified you was trying to get Steve, because it was in the streets that you was trying to grab Steve Roy at that time to come back. What is it that you see? Because I know what I saw, because I'm the one that brought him to Subtle. And to this day, I'm super proud of that, because I saw something in him that not necessarily anybody else did. Because at that time he was playing with After Hours, and they weren't doing too much of anything at that time. And so I told Walker Reyes, I said, "Look, now, at that time Day, he was away, so we needed somebody to fill that slot." And so when Roy, I approached him about it. And he was like, "Hey, you know how you talk, hey, it was good." So I saw something real special in him. What did you see in him?
So whenever we brought Steve, that particular time that you're talking about, we was coming after him, but we didn't get him.
Right.
And I remember us sitting down, and I guess, these are deep, dark secrets, but we can tell them now, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's why I plucked it.
I remember me and him sitting down, and the concept was great. And I asked him to decide if me and him could coexist because we both were very strong-willed, strong-minded guys, and if we didn't decide that we could coexist, the talent doesn't really make any difference. And so
Right.
I think at that point he took an honest look at it and said he didn't think that we would do well coexisting. And he loved Settle. He loved the house that he was in. There wasn't nothing wrong with the house that he was in. And so, you know, I just I think we shifted gears and did a couple of other different things. But yeah, I remember that time.
I tell you what, let's go to a song break. Play one of your mini classes that you've been fortunate, as you say, to be a part of. But look, one thing I do want to say about you is that, and we spoke on it a little bit when Jahar was here, is that you have either written or co-written some of the greatest hits in go-go history. That's a talent to me. That's a talent to me that's kind of missing in go-go right now, the writing part. And I talked to Chucky Thompson about it, and we got real in depth about it. He was like, what is really missing from go-go going national? And he said production and writing. Mm-hmm. So that's something that you've always been really big in. Real quick before we go to break, why do you think that's missing right now?
Such a pressure to play the radio song. Like, when I play my own song, one, I gotta hope you like it. Two, I gotta hope I perform it well. And then three, we gotta hope we put the right elements around it. So it's a lot harder than to say I'm gonna play Hip Hop Hooray. You know what I mean? This is the best song. This is the greatest song in the city. This is the greatest song on the radio this summer. I know the people like it. They call and request it 30 times a day, right? And so playing the radio song makes it far, far easier. And so to some degree, I think we take the easy way out. Now, there was a time in go-go when everybody played originals. It was 70 or 80% originals and 30% covers. Mm-hmm. And then people clamored that they want to hear the songs. I mean, because covers ain't new. I mean, that was Dance to the Drummer's Beat that Ray Essence used to play. That was Trans Europe Express that Ray Essence used to play. Mm-hmm. And Pull Up to My Bumper with Joy. I mean, so there was always covers, but I think as it matured, as go-go came around, and I don't want to lay it on my Isha and the Hip Huggers, but she was the first one that I could recall, and they were playing a lot of covers. And then Listen, hell, I mean, Listen.
Subtle before Listen.
No, but I'm not saying that. But I'm not skipping Subtle. But I'm saying when Listen came, they played the record, and they played it just like the record. And they had 4 incredible singers. 3 incredible singers, and Tuffy, who was Jay-Z, remade or whatever. And so when they had that success, and I mean, they was 800 people a night, 4 nights a week.
Yeah, they was killing.
They was killing. And when they had that success, it put a pressure on everybody else to play the covers, play the hot songs. And so just the further we went with playing the covers, just the more important covers became. And so I think that's how we got there.
Well, we ain't got to worry about that right here, because we getting ready to play one of your tracks right here. And so keep it locked right here on the GoWIN Radio Show, right here on GoGo Radio Live. We're getting ready for this Sunday at the Anthem, the last show with D-Floyd.
That's what we're talking about, funky. Yeah! Sweet side, you know I'm talking about you, right, sir? I'm not talking about her.
right. We back right here on the GoWIN Radio Show, right here on GoGo Radio Live. And my co-hostess, Miss Lady's in the building.
Hello, I'm here.
And of course, we here with the one and only Donnell Floyd Sr., better known as D-Floyd, getting ready for his last show. And it's, I know you've been hearing it, and people, whether they be sad or think you bluffing or whatever the case may be, man. But coming from me, I'm impressed. I'm impressed the way you going out on your own terms, so to speak. Damn near like Mayweather. You know what I mean? And you picking and choosing how you want to go out. And people, especially in this game, because we seen, what's really sad about it, we seen a lot of people pass going through this and can't even pay for their, don't have their funeral expenses taken care of and all of that. Like, you going out with all your faculties in order, you know what I'm saying? And, you straight, even though, I mean, a lot of people don't know you went through double knee surgery, replacement, matter of fact.
Yep.
I mean, you gone through a lot, because that right there within itself, I'm sure it took a lot out of you. How long were you down?
Not as long as the doctors wanted me to stay down.
You got them done at the same time?
Both at the same time. And I know I went to CIAA, so maybe 2 months, maybe.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. And was that CIAA, was that the time when you played against, well, not against, but where Essence and Team Familiar was down there?
No, that's not the time. And whenever we play with Ray Essence, we playing against Ray Essence. Ain't no hiding that. No, it was a couple. It was. It's been 5 years. This January would be 5 years.
Oh, okay, it's recent. Yeah, okay. So look, listening to that right there, see no evil, hear no, see no evil, made me think about the great man that you worked with in order putting that band together, Baba.
Oh man, that's my guy.
Yeah. How did you and Baba connect, and how did y'all put together the 911 situation?
Baba has always been in my life since I was about 5 or 6 years old. Him and my mom were freedom fighters, as you would say back in the day. My mom was president of NAACP at some point in Prince George's County and SCLC, and he was always involved in the struggle, as he was a proud black ashy feet guy. And he's always been in my life. And then whenever I was leaving Red Essence, when the concept of putting the band together started floating around, he wanted to be instrumental in being involved, and so he was.
Because a lot of, those who were around knew, because like he backed everything, and he was a huge part of far as, because he was there through all the hard times, because I was at the very first show when I think it was Irvin's back there, when it was a little boxing ring in there and whatnot, and you had all that talent in the band at that time. Matter of fact, Brian was your lead at that time,
right?
B-Man, and from that time to where I come see and it was hardly anybody there, to the rise. That it takes a lot for somebody to be in your corner like that. Some people would just run like, "Hey, bro, I can't handle this," but that brother right there stood through it all.
Yeah, he had this little saying. He said, "I got enough money to make up for my mistakes." And so you're right. We had a lot of talent, so the payroll was high. 10 people didn't pay it. Baba paid it, and rest in peace, Baba. He allowed us to stand on his shoulders when the water was too muddy to walk through, and he
Great
always. It wasn't just me. He just believed in black men. I'm not prejudiced, but he believed in black men, and black men who had a vision. And so at some point, he helped Kwame with the tapes, and he helped Donnell with the band, and he helped Mike with the Comcast, and I mean, he just believed in black men, and he just was a unbelievable guy. And surely we wouldn't be here without him being there, because though we all get along, it's about money. And when 10 people come in the door, that ain't gonna pay it. And Baba just made sure that we always had everything we needed financially.
You talked about.
Can I piggyback off of that?
Oh, please.
So you when you talk about Baba, I know him personally, but not not that well to know that y'all a little more seasoned than me. That's a nice way to say that. But when you talk about the style that he had and the things that he did, within management, what do you think is missing these days? Or did you try to implement that, some of the things that you've learned throughout, your career, implement a little bit from everybody, because you've been on stages with some of the most dynamic, leaders and managers within themselves. So
yeah, for sure. And so I think it's what Baba brought is stay in your lane. Like, you know what I mean?
Stay in your lane.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's so important, because a lot of times when you have strong-willed people, even like me and Rapper, or me and Steve, or me and Kim Scoop, you have strong-willed people, me and Jahar. I gotta have my way.
Alphas,
He
alphas,
gotta
yeah.
have his way,
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta have a couple of things. You gotta have a way of breaking the tie, and you gotta know clearly. Even with the anthem thing, Jahar want to do this, I want to do that, and I'm like, we don't have to be fighting about this stuff. I got enough stuff on the production side to keep me busy for the next year,
Right.
and he got enough stuff on the promotion side to keep. So you go that way, I'm gonna go this way, because when people are fighting for the same win, it really doesn't matter which roads they choose. And so that's kind of what Baba did. He said, look, I got the money. You got the promotion, you got the band, and I'm going to finance it. And that's it. I mean, that's everything.
So delegation at its best.
Delegation at its best.
Yeah.
But that's not just about management. That's
Right.
about band members. That's about husband and wives.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
about fathers and children. You got to find your place, and how do we break this tie? It can't always be the way you want to do it. How do we break, And so long as you got those definitions, there is no bad relationships. Anything can work.
When you first was leaving Rare Essence, you and I had talked. I was working at KYS at the time, and you granted me the very first interview about that, and it was right after the whole overnight scenario thing with Jay-Z, Rare Essence, back and forth. So for those who don't necessarily know, tell us how that whole Jay-Z overnight scenario thing kicked off, and how it went down.
Okay, so somewhere in practice, we was messing around, and then I started developing the hook for overnight scenario. 3 a.m. Okay, Pat. Okay, 4. Okay, Bo, what would you do? Or Mickey, what? And then it just started growing, and the hook, it just started growing, and it became a thing that we would do at the Go-Go's, and it was fun, and everybody kind of liked it. It was kind of lighthearted, and so let me just fast forward a year or two of us playing it, and then somebody came to me and said, "Yo, Jay-Z has y'all song," and people say that kind of stuff all the time, because as a writer, chances of you writing something that nobody else ever thought about is none.
Right.
Right? And so the only thing we can do is try to say it in a way that no one has said it.
Right.
You look at Floetry, the things that they was doing and saying, they was just saying something that women wouldn't normally on a record come out and say.
Right.
So, but when I heard the Jay-Z song, I was like, oh shit, no, wait, no, this really is, he really did grab this from us. I mean, it was obvious. And so I went to the powers that be in Rare Essence, and I was like, yo, what we doing about this Jay-Z thing, and it was like, no big deal. We're not really looking into it. And so that kind of went on for 6 months, and I was like, okay, well, I got a lawyer. I'll let my lawyer look into it. I mean, I wrote the song, you know what I mean? And they were like, well, no.
Were you the primary writer, or were you just one of the co-writers?
Is there, who else wrote?
Okay, no, I'm just for clarity.
I guess Shorty wrote his part. Everything else I wrote.
Okay.
And so, we just kind of went down that road, and then I said, well, let me get my lawyer to look into it. He said, well, no, our lawyer is looking into it. And so if I can just fast forward a little bit more, I became a nuisance about it.
Right.
I became my normal self. and he says, well, at the end of the day, it's a publishing issue, and you're not a part of our publishing company. Mm-hmm. And I was like, ooh, whoa. And I said a couple of things. I said, wow, that's, because I always, well, first of all, I say, you're right. You know what I mean? And what you assume is when you're getting down that you'll take care of me when we get there. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, he was right. I'm not a part of a publishing company. And I said, I need to go build my own house. And that was pretty much how I took the position that that I'm in today.
So that's what ignited the whole situation for us.
No, well, to some degree. Really, I didn't plan on doing a band. I really just wanted to put out an album. My son was getting ready to go to college, and I wanted to make sure he had some money for the little Bambino. And but I had my publishing and stuff for the album. And that's how it kind of got started. 32 and Darren and everybody started saying, come on, man, let's start a band. Let's make this a band. It was difficult. I didn't want to put them in my situation. I was leaving Essence, not them. But they wanted to get down. And so as we got closer and closer, it just kind of grew from there.
So when you were saying, your son was about to go to college and you wanted to, stack some bread away. So everybody always knows that, you've been one of the few that has a full-time job and go-go, because right. It's a lot of us, a lot of the musicians within go-go, that's it.
Right.
That's it and that's all. So do you think, with your experience, do you think it would have been possible for you to be as successful in the industry, making the moves that you did, doing the parties that you did, getting the employees that you, if you did not have like something, could you made it without your 9 to 5, without,
And I think absolutely. I mean, okay. Genghis, if you take all my jobs, he probably out-earns all of them. Right?
I mean, he definitely has a 9 to 5 though. I mean, he's a acclaimed actor.
I mean, you can say. I mean, but that's all entertainment. It's
right.
all in the
right. Oh,
definitely.
definitely.
For sure. But no, I've seen people make it both ways. I've seen people say, "I'm going to give everything I got to this art industry," and they make it. And I've seen them fail.
Right.
And me, I always felt like after I got a certain age, in my mid-30s, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's time to, settle down.
Yeah.
Time to get something. I didn't always work,
right,
but by the time I got to my early 30s
right.
is when I started working for Verizon.
Right.
And because at this point now, we need some guarantees.
Right.
We need to make sure that the little ones can go to college
right.
and have health insurance and all
right.
of that kind of stuff. So I've seen it happen on both fronts. But surely I feel far more comfortable with a 9 to 5 because that allows me to chase my dreams. Because now I don't have to worry about the long fall to the ground.
And I've heard you say in previous interviews that back when you guys didn't really have the responsibilities that you had,
right.
As young musicians, it was a different drive. It was a different hunger. So do you think that mentality still exists? Like if someone doesn't really have, do they work more? Do they work less? Or you say, oh, well, I got a job to go to in the morning. I'm leaving. Or I'm,
Mm-hmm.
So is the mentality different now than it was then as far as the drive to want to, do this go-go thing?
So it's difficult for me to put that on people. Like I don't know what people think.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but surely we can point to the lack of success to say there's a lack of drive.
Right.
If you make the decision that you're not going to go work for the quote unquote white man, but are you going to give yourself the same 8 hours a day that you would have gave him? Are you going to work hard like that, or you think I'm gonna just scribble down a rap and I'm gonna say it, and my girlfriend and my buddies they're gonna like it, and so now I'm thinking like
Right.
I'm the
the
shit.
ish.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Right. And so
Right.
it's almost never. You know, I've been around some of the great rappers, and when I talk to them about how they, you know, made it to where they are, I mean, their stories is like our go-go stories. They started as very young guys working on their craft, getting better and better. So it's always funny to me when I run across these guys, 30, 40 years old, and they want to start today, and they're going to be, what's the chances of that?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, what's the chances of that? And so, I think I've seen it work both ways. I like my way. It gives me a comfort, for sure. And it allows me to retire, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I ain't leaving Verizon. I ain't leaving Verizon. My supervisor hate me, but I
I want to touch on what you just spoke as far as, you know, sitting down, talking to, you know, a lot of famous rappers back in the day. Who or what was your inspiration to come off the saxophone and be a rapper?
So keep in mind, this is the early 80s, and rap was just getting off the ground itself.
Mm-hmm.
The early Bama stuff, like the Sugar Hill Gang, but now they started to turn the corner with Dougie and Chuck D and all of that kind of stuff. And I just always liked Public Enemy. I mean, the strength that they came with, the power. You know, my mom was a black nation kind of woman, and so Chuck D was giving you that same kind of energy.
The rhythm, the rebel.
Yeah.
Without a pause, I'm low on my level.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get him started, please.
Now that Chuck D, I could quote him too. I mean, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so just that kind of stuff really just motivated me. It all fit together. It was like the perfect storm for me. I think I actually started out doing LL rhymes because they were simple. But yeah, I just always liked that whole movement.
So Chuck D, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I'm the same way. I remember going into the military, and when I went in, and when I first heard Public Enemy, Yo Bum Rush the Show, I was like, damn. And then when The Nation came out, A Nation of Millions actually made me pick up the autobiography of Malcolm X. And I read it through Chuck D's lyrics. That's what made me read that book, and that changed my life.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but let me ask you. Let me take you back.
Okay.
Your very
we're
first.
in '83. How far? Where we going now?
Well, no, your very first show with Rare Essence was at the Maverick Room, correct?
That's my memory. Yeah. Maverick
Okay.
Room.
And then
Maverick
your
Room.
next night, you was at Kwood Theater.
I'm not gonna remember the rest of them. I'm gonna remember the first one and the
Yeah,
last
the
one.
last one.
Okay, so you don't remember anything particular or special happening at the Kwood Theater that night?
I don't. It was a blur. Rest used to play so much, and easily I remember my first night.
Well, tell us about that.
Well, even now I don't know how to dress, but I was awful back then. I might have had some penny loafers on and some sweatpants or something. I was just tripping, and I was really just scared to death. And it was packed in there, but I really didn't have to do nothing. And then somewhere along the way, James Funk made me play a song, Mr. Magic, a solo, and it was just an unbelievable feeling. I don't know if I was old enough to drive. I was old enough to drive, but I didn't have a car. I used to ride with John Bighorn, and we just had. I mean, it wasn't about what it is about today. You know, we had crew. I mean, we had our crew. It was Essence. You know what I mean? And it was EU, and Trouble Funk, and Chuck. And wasn't nobody going to play with nobody, none of that. You know what I mean? We was a brotherhood, and it was just fun.
I mean, you touched on it, so let's expand on it. Where are you at with that right now? Because and when we're talking about the whole free agency, and I mean, always, if I remember correctly, Benny kind of like kicked all that off, you know, being the helicopter and just playing with different bands. But now you just got different musicians from here to, you know, just playing with different bands, whether it be the same night or the next night or wherever the case may be. What are your thoughts on that?
So, you know, it's where we are. I don't know if I feel one way about it or another. It's the maturation of a go-go. And, I mean, it's like basketball and anything else. We call it, you know, the free agency. I don't necessarily care for it, but I couldn't because I come from the older side of things. You know what I mean? And I see it a different way. So I don't think one thing is right and one thing is wrong. I just see it differently because we were trying to build something. You know what I mean? Like me and Andre, when we White Boy, when we went to start talking about Echo Stage, whether the two bands would play together or not, we also talked about where we are, well, where this whole thing is, and we just the elephants. We come from a different time where you was trying to build something. So me, you the drummer, Tasha the singer, we young and we trying to get to that next level. We trying to write that hit song so that we can get out of here. And the money that comes in, we don't split what we get. We take some of it, but we put some away because we going to the studio on Sunday, right? And on Monday we going to mix it. And if you just look at that, I mean, it's easy to see because Essence had about 15 videos. They had cameos with Redman, and was it Redman?
Yeah.
Redman. We had situations with Dougie Fresh. None of that stuff is free. You can't split what you get and then go to Redman and say, I want you to be on my album. Because what that it was $25,000. What year was that? I mean, we paid him $25,000. What year was that? And I'm saying that, so that's my problem with the whole, what do you call it, free agency, is because now you weaken your particular
2000.
brand. 2000. 2000.
They said Red Essence, we push. 2000.
25,000. That's what I remember.
19 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
2,000, 25,000.
That's a big number now.
Yeah, 19
You know it
years
was a
ago.
huge number back then.
Huge number. But
He was real hot.
the reason that's possible is because we was a brand and we was building a brand and we stayed together, and if you wanted to see D-Floyd or White Boy or Mickey, you had to come over here to see us. That's where we at. We in Rare Essence. That's where we at. And so because you couldn't see, we accumulated, to me, like the best talent. We accumulated, to me, the best talent, and if you want to come see us, you gotta come over here and see us. And so it allowed us to get the money and spend the money trying to get that hit, right? So when you move around, you weaken the brand. Now you strengthen your personal brand, right? Nico, you strengthen your personal brand, but the brand of the band is weakened. And so now the money that comes to the band is nowhere near as much. And so now stuff like, hell, just going into the studio alone, now that's over with. Nobody does that. Who does it? Blackwell. That's it, right?
Killer Cow.
Killer Cow.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But not off of the Rare Essence brand.
No.
You know, that's his hustle.
Right.
And he's correct, right?
Right.
Because that's, if you don't do that, what you talking about? If you ain't trying to get a record and trying to go, what we talking about? And so when you do the other stuff, you weaken the brand of of the house, whatever house it happens to be, Familia, whatever house, Chuck, whatever house it happens to be, right? And so then it makes it difficult for that group to do those kind of things, the studio stuff, the video stuff. Hell, a record promoter costs $1 million. I mean, costs everything. Now, if the house that you in don't want to do those kind of things, then you're absolutely right to go strengthen your brand, to go do your thing, right? And so I just don't care for it, but I couldn't care for it because I'm older. You know what I mean? Like Jordan would have never went to play for no fucking Detroit Pistons.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Never.
Yeah, I guess when you bring it up like that, it's in all the industries. It's in basketball. It's
Everywhere.
happening. Like, yeah.
That's why I say I'm
if
not
I don't get the ring, I'm gone.
Yeah, that's
you
why
know,
I say
type
I'm
of
not
thing.
against it because
Right.
it's the time that we in.
Right.
But just for my personal thing, you know, I believe in creating your brand.
So speaking on, like, I want to talk about like what's happening now. So speaking like social media within itself. Do you think it's kind of like to me it's kind of like a gift and a curse with the social media. So when it comes to the go-go music, you have it so that people can stay at home because you got people like
Right,
this,
live and
like
right.
at your live show. Like if you wanted to release a DVD, then you know, but they do it. National artists do it all the time. Like when you go to the Verizon Center or something, they be like, listen, we recording. If I catch you with your phone up, we gonna put you out. We letting
Right.
you know. We're not
Right.
gonna say don't bring your phones in, but you know,
Right.
they do it all the time. Backyard has been wanting to do it. What band kind of does it? You know, because when you're putting out a CD, it kind of defeats the purpose that this person has this on their YouTube, which now with social media and everything, YouTube is going to pay that person for people to watch your show.
Right.
That you just, you know,
Right.
so they'll end up, you did all the work. Now YouTube is streaming your live show from someone else's page that's sitting at home that's making like way more than you will be willing to make
For sure.
off that show. Now your DVD is trash. You have to trash that. Your CD, you have to trash that. So in the age of social media, what do you think it has done for the brand, or you know, for the I guess the industry of go-go, and what do you think it's against it? You know, like give me the pros and the cons. And I do have I want to piggyback off of that after that. After you answer that, I'll piggyback off this social media thing.
So when I got 5,000 followers and I say we playing at Iverson Mall today, maybe 50 people will pick up on it. When Genghis has 70,000 followers, said we playing at Iverson Mall today, he might see 700 to 1,000 people.
Right.
So social media is obviously an incredible tool to use for all the advantages that it has. It gives you the word, and I mean immediately. It's right now. It's right here, and it's right now. And so in terms of advertisement, in terms of strengthening your brand, I think it's great. But it also can weaken your product in the same sense. Like, I mean, I know Ernest L is going to be, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, but I know he's going to be videoing wherever he's going to be. So I was going to go, but I'm not really like, you know what? I'm gonna just stay home and watch the live.
He was exactly the person I was going to say something about. But go ahead.
I'm gonna stay home and I'm gonna just watch the live. Now, if you was in Quebec, if you in the army, the
Right.
military, this is a great thing. But if you in Glen Arden, it's going to hurt us a little bit. So I see, just like you said, I see the pros and cons to it. It's great for building your image, building your brand.
Right.
Your brand. You know, Tasha's brand. Your brand.
Right.
You know, you can do the things that you want to do to make you popular.
Right.
And so in that sense, it's a great thing. Like I just the way Genghis treats social media to me is unbelievable. Like, and I follow a good assortment of go-go people, go-go bands. I follow stars, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, and I'm telling you what G does kills everybody. I mean, it's a how-to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? handle and succeed in social media. So I think, I think it's great for creating fixing your brand or strengthening your brand.
And I like you had brought up the guy Ernest L. Farrell. You don't know he has like I guess he started the Go-Go Report on Facebook, but I'm not really sure if he has anything to do with it now. But it has a lot of drama that goes on inside of that on social media. But I just wanted to and Miles even mentioned it at the Go-Go Awards previously that we had this past week. He just was mentioning how it's not. He felt as though, in his own opinion, that he felt as though it just wasn't good for the brand of Go-Go because it's not. If you do this, with the eyes of justice, it's way more negative than it is positive. And if we, just like you said, if we fighting the same battle, you know what I'm saying, it just really shouldn't be that much division. So with that being said, I think Go-Go, we wanted to be the the nation's capital's music, but I think in its own entirety, we want the limelight. But we don't know how to treat it. Mm-hmm. We don't know how to get there because you wouldn't be at a Grammys, and there wouldn't be a random customer walking around with their phone talking to you. Hey, Donnell Floyd, talk to me. Like while they're talking, while they're performing,
right.
Things of that nature. Walking around the crowd. I'm like, what is this security? Damn. Right. So I just see things like that, and I'll be like, what? So nobody gonna say nothing? Like, I just shut up. But I just think that a lot of people, it's got to be done with some coof. How you say,
for sure.
Let's put some coof into it. It could be done, but just, I just wanted to add that in there. It's a lot of stuff that we want, but we're not going to be able, even if we get it, we're not going to be able to hold on to it because we do things.
We don't treat it like it's real.
Yes.
Like some of my band members in the past and in the sometimes some of the things they do. Like if you was the keyboard player for Patti LaBelle, would you be on your phone right now?
Yeah,
would you be texting on your phone while we playing right now?
Right.
Like, come on, man. And but some of that is just about failure. I think, because maybe people don't think that you're ever going to make it. Right. And when I mean make it, I mean make it. Right? Make it on that real level. And so they feel like this is all it's going to be. This is all it is. And so what difference does it make? Right? And if you have that mentality, that is what it's going to be. You're not going to make it. You're not.
Exactly.
You're not. But to me, the line between success and missing it is very, very thin. I thought Backyard was so close when they covered the song Hello. Mm-hmm. Surely you have incredible successes when you look at EU and Pops was real close a few times. And in fact, whenever EU had Doing the Butt is when Andre Harrell came and signed Ray Essence. Because in fact, he was like, if this is going to be the next thing, and it looks like it is.
Let me hop on it.
Let me grab me one. But it didn't materialize. But it could always, and with today's world of social media, YouTube, Justin Bieber could always happen. You get enough hits on a thing that's happening on YouTube, the big boys will say, they selling a lot. Let me go get that. Let me go grab them. So I think it's always a possibility. People just got to believe that it's a possibility.
All right, look, let's go to break real quick. I want to make sure each and every one of y'all get ready for this Sunday at the Anthem, D-Floyd's last show. Make sure you get your tickets. When we come back, Floyd's going to let you know how to get your tickets and where to get them from. I'm going to play one of my favorites right here. I really wish, I haven't heard you play it. I haven't been to every familiar show, obviously. But right here, I think this is definitely missing in your repertoire.
And when we come back, we're going to take some questions from the Go-Go Radio Live, too, because they got them pouring in.
Definitely.
Uh-huh. My man Lance, Joaquin, Trinidad, yo.
Here we go again, what?
Sweet Mona, Sweet B, and Sweet Blow, yo.
Here we go again, what?
Carabina, Trinidad, Sweet Lisa, yo.
nobody ever do it like this brother right here. Anybody's coming behind him, if you ain't learned the right way how to do business, take notes. Because that's I think, to me, I think one of your greatest assets, Floyd, is that you are a man of men. And you know how to work and bring people together on a business level. I've never ever heard anybody say anything negative about you on your business side. Like, everybody like, hey, you say what you want to say about him, but he makes sure we taking care of him.
That's the money. That's the money part. Yeah.
So on the live, Kim Love.
Let me reintroduce. I'm sorry.
My bad.
You tuned in right now to the GoWIN Radio Show right here on GoGo Radio Live, and I'm here with my hostess, Miss Lady. I'm Nico the Gogoologist, and we're here with the one and only Mr. D-Floyd as we get ready for his last show this Sunday at the Anthem. Make sure you get your tickets where, Floyd?
Everywhere. Jahar, Los, Kirky, Mo Kemp, Barry D, Strong Minds, Ticketmaster, Anthem Box Office, everywhere.
All right. Come on, Miss Lady.
Okay, so from GoGo Radio Live, we have a lot of people chiming in. I wanted to ask some questions, special requests, and things of that nature. So this is coming from Kim Love. She's saying, can you ask him will he be willing to manage go-go bands when he retire?
Nah, I'll be laughing like I'm doing the Barry Sanders thing. Like I don't want to commentate. I don't want to coach. I don't want to do nothing. But not like, I love go-go to death. I'm going to definitely be somewhere hiding in the corner watching and listening because that beat just has always just grabbed me and made me move. And that's the success of go-go. That beat is just so intoxicating. So you can't get away from that. But in terms of the rest of the stuff, I'm gonna just bow out on that.
I think you would be great as a ghostwriter for somebody, and we touched on it earlier, and that's what's really missing from go-go right now. And if you had the time to just sit down and just start writing, if not for yourself, just go and go back to your original thought of what you was gonna do with 911, and just record and put something out, and and don't worry about it. And if it calls for you to come out and do a tour with it, so be it. But other than that, let me cut something, or somebody say, Floyd, I need you to write me a hit.
No, I'm never against stuff like that. I'm never against doing studio work and writing and stuff like that. That's my passion.
Yeah, there we go. Come on, sis.
I had another question, and they said, will you be DVDing this because they can't make it because they was hoping it was Thanksgiving weekend so they could be off, but they're going to be out of town. So will this be like something that...
No, and we had intentions on it, but the Anthem is a union house, and they allow you one camera way back by the PA board.
Oh, wow.
That you can capture it for your own personal happiness, but you have to sign something saying that you're not going to put a video out. And the whole shot, so we're not gonna record it.
So
they don't have their own camera work up in there?
They don't have their booms and all that stuff.
Like the Kennedy Center does?
No.
Well, you heard it here. It will. If you missed it, you missed it. So we got to thank God for those Ernest L's.
Yeah.
Ernest L, make sure you got your ticket, your table, or whatever you got. So just make sure you don't walk across the stage.
Right.
The best thing about it is you really don't have an excuse because the joint is big enough to put everybody up in there.
Everybody, the whole 6,000 people.
Yeah. So it should be no excuse. Come on up in there, get your ticket, get it now. But
and the early seating charts made it seem like there was no tickets left, but they made some more seats available. So go check it again. They got some more box seats available. We're just gonna have a good time.
You got some more questions, sis?
I do have another question, but I feel as though he kind of covered it. I think DJ Lewis kind of maybe came in a little late. He was like, how do you feel about the future of go-go in 10 to 15 years from now?
Ooh, that's scary. Like, so we don't have the farm system anymore.
I've been saying it.
And so I don't know 10, how old is Genghis in 10 years?
Yeah.
How old is Bugs in 10 years?
Yeah.
Right? So that gets a little scary. Whenever Chuck was getting started, you had a young Rassens coming up. Whenever Rassens was getting older, you had a young Junkyard, Backyard, Northeast Groovers coming up. But when they were the older groups, there was no younger groups. The younger groups was Bounce Beat. And Bounce Beat didn't have the infrastructure to handle the problems that came their way. So whenever they came to shut down the go-go clubs and stop the go-go bands, we had a infrastructure. Mo and me and whoever, Cato, and we would organize and march and rally and all of that kind of stuff. So the politicians knew we had votes. We had 18 to 30-year-old people that vote, and so they left us alone. But when Bounce Beat started to get in trouble, they didn't have that same kind of infrastructure and that same kind of support. And so they took the blows for that, right? And so even if I considered Bounce Beat go-go,
But you obviously...
I don't consider it go-go. But even if I considered Bounce Beat go, and I don't say that in a negative way.
Right.
I think that whenever Chuck Brown was an R&B artist, he made enough changes to R&B that they decided to name it something else. And I think that Bounce Beat has made enough changes to go-go that they named it Bounce Beat, and I think it's different. I think, not in a negative way. But I'm just saying, so that took away the chain to me of young bands following the older bands. And so when little Lisa was 15 and 16, she would follow Northeast to the fire station and to the block party and stuff like that.
To the Oxon Hill Annex.
To the Oxon Hill. And when she got older, 21, now she wants to come see Essence at Club U and at Rhythms, because now I want to drink.
I can hang with them.
I can hang, right? So, but now there isn't no farm group to come up under the older bands.
That's one of the best ways that anybody has described.
Yeah, and so and if something don't change, it really puts us on the grandfather clause, right?
Yeah.
So
I've been preaching this till I've been blue in the face for the last, since I've had this station. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just glad you echoed my sentiments.
I definitely like the way he explained as far as the bounce beat, not considered go-go, but it's kind of, and what Chuck Brown did to the music to make it classify as, I definitely understand. It's like
I just call it
same mother, father, but you're the child. Yeah. You're different, kind of
I just call it a derivative of what go-go made.
But it's okay. It's not bad to not be go-go. They've established their own thing.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, they still great. Hell, the numbers they did, the money they did when Polo was alive was legendary.
Yeah.
So, but that's why they have, with the Go-Go Awards, they are mentioned also, obviously, and they have a category, but they also have their own Bounce Beat Awards.
As they should.
That does not put, you're not going to go to the Bounce Beat Awards and say, Grown and Sexy Band of the Year.
Right.
It's not going to be a category. It's Bounce Beat Awards. So, that's a good question. This is a good question to piggyback off of what that was saying. Okay, so with the classifications of the genres, how do you feel about the Black Alleys and the? Can I put the Black Alley and the Mambo Sauce in the same category? Because I'm thinking to myself, they came out with, hey, I'm not a go-go band. Don't put us in that category. We're not go-go. We're not go-go. But saying it literally, but playing it.
So I don't know that I see Mambo Sauce and Black Alley the same. If it's true, I mean, you just gave me some education, because I don't know.
Yeah, we've had Black Alley on the station several times, and they've always said.
I understand Black Alley. I've seen them, but the
Okay.
Mambo Sauce, all I've ever heard Mambo Sauce do was go-go. So when you say that Mambo Sauce,
I think Reds had the mentality of, we're just not a go-go band. Am I incorrect?
Well, they didn't want to be classified. They didn't want to be put in the go-go box. When they first came, I remember when we was doing the Go-Go Awards, The last one. The last one when we did it at the Lincoln Theater.
The Lincoln.
And we had a meeting at Big John's spot at the Marigold's. And
But it's not what you say; it's what you do. I mean,
Right.
if I rape little
That's
kids,
what,
I'm a rapist.
I'm a rapist. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. So they say it with their mouths, but you still you play it and you're like, come on. Or you at the Go-Go Awards,
Right.
like considered. So I'm like, how do you feel about people that don't really want to claim it but want to
I
do
think
it?
it's marketing,
Okay.
and you have the right, I think, to play your game however you like. I was talking to one of the managers for Black Alley the other day, and he said we're trap, rock, and go-go, and I can accept that.
Okay.
That's okay for me. I think whatever you decide you want to market yourself as, because go-go, the stigma of go-go is so negative, or was so negative over the years, that I mean, if you wanna disassociate yourself, that's on you. But also then don't look for those coins from that marketplace, right? But as long as you're okay with that, call yourself what you like.
But is it okay for us as the community? So if they say, "Hey, I'm not a go-go band," but then you having a rally that says "Make go-go music," the sound of DC, and then you have Black Alley playing.
Right, that
So-
was a little stretch.
You know-
I
you
didn't-
know what I'm
I didn't
saying?
go to, but I saw it on social media, and like that's a stretch.
So I just
And I want to be clear. I mean, they are incredible.
oh, of course,
incredible,
excellent
incredible.
talent. Oh yes.
I mean,
oh yes.
Casey is incredible.
Oh,
The band
awesome.
is incredible. Gotta be, because we don't like rock music.
We don't.
And at the end of the day, they're a rock music
Yeah.
band, and so they have to be incredible. And I enjoy them every time I go see them.
Me too.
But those are just decisions you make. What you want to call yourself. WAP and them also say we're not a go-go band.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
see people take that road, and I'm not sure if that's in hopes of getting to the next level.
I think so.
But it's going to be problematic when you're here.
And you showing improvement
try-
that you
and you
are
trying
you
to-
really are.
and you're
Right.
trying to develop a base here.
Yeah.
Right, because this
Yeah.
is go-go.
This
This
is-
city is go-go.
This is definitely go, and I think because of go-go is used to getting a bad rap, with the closings and the fightings and the, things of that nature. They were used to getting a bad rap, so they say, hey, let's do something. And I think that's when the turn of like the grown and sexy, even though it was go-go, but it was like when you two-stepping and you dressed up, who wants to fight?
Right.
Like
Right.
who wants to fight? We not in the pit, not to take away from junk, because I'm JY till I die. You know what I'm saying? We not in the pit. We not roughing it off. We not even playing those songs that make you like, why are you angry?
Right.
There's a man singing to the women, like why, like
Right.
really?
Right.
So
Right.
I think that came with the turn of the grown and sexy too. It was like, hey, even though Essence has always been for the older crowd. Well, older because I said, my brother older than me went to go see Essence. I went to go see Junk. So it was like I couldn't get in those crowds. I don't remember really Essence doing all ages except for like Triples nightclub. I went on Wednesdays. I went to the all ages to see Essence and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, just like you said, it's the farm system.
It's the farm system.
And we don't have that. And that's when you brought that up. That's scary.
It's real scary. And they took instrumental music out of public schools. And
Yeah.
so all
Yeah.
of that stuff.
Yeah.
And kids don't grow up wanting to be go-go anymore.
Mm-mm.
They want to be rappers.
I
and
kind of force feed it
stuff
to
like
my
that.
kids though. They hear it. It's force fed. They like it. You gonna like it. You gonna
Right.
listen to this.
I'm glad you brought that up real quick. That led to one of my questions I had for you. Was the saxophone your first instrument?
Absolutely. First and only, probably. I can't really play nothing else. I really can't play that, but...
Nah, you could play it.
And that brings about the question of the people on the live said about the go-go, about his musicianship. They were saying, would a jazz album be in the,
Yeah, and so I just really felt like I just want to be a saxophone player in some R&B band somewhere. I told y'all that last
Yeah,
time.
you did. You did. That's what the people was like. The people on the live, they're asking. They say, is that like they heard you say it, but were you, joshing around or something like that?
No, I'm
Okay.
I'm a pretty definitive guy,
Okay.
and
Okay.
sometime soon or sometime later, whenever it is, I'll find an R&B band or make an R&B band or whatever, and chase it and just be the saxophone player. that's all I really. I don't want to say it that way because I love my go-go career, but that's what I'd like to do. When I was in high school, I wanted to be the saxophone player for Patti LaBelle, and I'm gonna find that situation.
Who are your musical influences?
Grover Washington Jr., John Coltrane, Stevie Wonder, Tina Marie.
Wow. You talk about Patti LaBelle. Let me ask you this. You made mention of this in one of your live pieces that you did, you know, as far as your memories.
Right.
You know, elaborate for us on the whole Aretha Franklin situation, because it got cut off. and that was so deep. As far as Rare Essence being the backing band for the song Jimmy Lee.
Right.
And they had you. Y'all actually took a bus to Detroit?
A bus, 10 hours.
Wow. So they didn't fly. Well, obviously you answered that question. So, you know, just expand on that, you know, because this was out, and I remember the single, and everybody used to trip out on it because at that time,
The video is hilarious.
Donnie Simpson was doing Video Soul. And that's when we first saw it on Video Soul. I was like, yo. So, you know, tell us a little bit more, you know, just expand on that, because obviously you wasn't able to do it in 60
first,
seconds.
I'm in a minority because I never really was a great Aretha Franklin person. I love Patti LaBelle, and so you had to. Okay, all right. So Taj, so let me start with the Aretha Franklin part first. I was a Patti LaBelle person, right? Patti in concert to me was unbelievable.
Yes,
she
she
would
is.
sit
To
and
this
talk
day.
and talk, and because everybody can sing,
Right,
And
right.
but she would give you her.
Right.
Like, this is my life. My sisters died, whatever. And so it's almost Kobe and LeBron. Like, you got to choose. And so my choice was Patti.
Right.
But when I was talking to Miss Mac, because I was talking to Miss Mac, rest in peace, Miss Mac, and we was having the debate, who's the greatest singers. And so Whitney was still young, so we wouldn't have had a conversation about Whitney.
Right.
So we brought it down to 3 people: Patti LaBelle, Shaka Khan, Aretha Franklin.
That's a great
That's
three.
that's a good 3.
Right? And
Great
so,
three.
Yeah.
and so Ms. Mack said, it's not really fair to judge because they all had different styles. She said, but if you want to judge, this is how you got to do it. You got to take the best performance of each person, and then if this is Patty's best performance, her best song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow live, and Shaka Khan's best thing was, and it's got to be live, right?
Right.
Shaka Khan
Of
was I'm Every Woman live, but when Aretha's Amazing Grace comes on, it's over with.
The way it make you feel.
Oh God, this Amazing Grace, it's over.
Yes.
There's nobody that's ever going to come around that. I mean, that thing was ridiculous. I've never heard somebody do all of that. So, but Patty's my favorite. But so anyway, I didn't care for really Aretha Franklin. I was a Patti LaBelle guy, right? So we
You
did the
wasn't
Jimmy
excited.
Lee thing, and my mom was so proud. I mean, you know what I mean? So we in Detroit. I think we shot for a couple of days, and the second day, we in the cafeteria, and you know, I got the picture in my hand, I got the pen, the Sharpie, right? I'm ready, right? She's sitting there talking to the young guy that was playing the part of Jimmy Lee in the video. I think there was 2 Jimmy Lees. There was an old Jimmy Lee and there was a young Jimmy Lee. Anyway, she's sitting there talking to the guy, and I said, "Excuse me, Miss Franklin, can I get your autograph for my mom?" You know, she says, "I'm busy right now." I said, "Yeah, I mean, but I get it though." Right? And I said, "Yeah, but my mom, she really, I mean, you're her favorite, and she really would just love it." And she didn't respond. And then I said something else, and she said, "Look, tell you what, why don't you go write down your address, put it on an envelope, I'll sign it, I'll send it to you." And in my mind, I was like, the time you just took
Right,
to
to
go through
tell
all of
me
that,
that.
you
You
could have
could've
just
picked up a pen and
wrote it down. So it was a pencil I had, and I took the pencil and I just broke it and just dropped it on the table and walked away. My mother would be so fucking mad.
Right. She
mama
told you
be-
she was gonna send it and you did.
My mother would be
Right.
so mad. I was furious. I was like, we leave. I mean, she said, wait. Because that's the other thing she said was, well, when y'all finish, I'll do it. Because so this thing took about 5 minutes of back and forth.
Right.
And you could have just did it.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
said 5 minutes I'll do it and da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da-da. And I just broke the pencil, just laid it on the table, tore up the page, tore up the little
never got
glossy.
this. Never got the signature. Huh?
Never got it.
Oh,
I
that's
thought
so
they was going to take
disappointing.
me out of the video, but
For real.
yeah.
One word from her, it probably would have happened.
But that's so disheartening when you have somebody, you know what I'm saying, of that caliber
Yeah.
that acts like it changes your whole persona. Now you like, oh, now I knew.
Yeah.
Now I knew that's why I like that. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing happened with me with Michael Jordan. His rookie year, we was at the Cap Center back then, and my cousin, it was a church league, and they was playing their championship league game there on the floor. I was reffing. And so Jordan came out. He was doing his interviews with the TV stations and whatnot. And so after the game, I said, Mr. Jordan, can I get you? Matter of fact, I had the first Sports Illustrated article of him being in the Bulls uniform when he, and he was doing that. And I had it with me. I was, Mr. Jordan, could you sign this for him? He blew me off. Ever since then, I hated Jordan. I hated Jordan. You know what I'm saying? As great as he was, I would acknowledge him. But I've never been a Jordan fan off of that situation.
Right?
But can you relate to her in an aspect of?
I can't. That's what I say.
Yeah,
I get
you
it.
can relate it now.
Except for that, we took so long
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
Right.
You can relate to her in the aspect that you're the man that you are, and you can't get everybody, and everybody that they might think, especially on the stage, they might think you looking right at them, and they be like, I was like this all night. You
Right,
like,
right,
sir, I
right.
did not see you, sir. I was looking at the clock.
Right.
So you can relate kind of like, but to be rude, I've never known you to be just blatantly rude to someone.
Yeah.
But you can relate to somebody that says, hey, can I, and you like, hey, I gotta get, let me get here. Somebody want to stop and take a picture. You like, I got another show I got to get to. I'm running late. So you can kind of relate on that aspect. But as far as to be just like,
Yeah,
you ain't doing nothing. You just couldn't sign a piece of paper.
And I was young. And
Yeah,
arrogant.
yeah.
So all of that, like I wouldn't have did that today.
Right. Okay.
I'd have just hung my head and walked away. I was young and arrogant and all that.
How did you come to putting together your label, Colossal Records, and what became of it?
We just wanted more money. Right? I mean, back then, if you think about it, we was young guys, and the powers that be in Rare Essence felt like young guys shouldn't make but so much money. In fact, I remember us doing a show at Maryland University with Rare Essence and somebody, but we had trash bags full of money, and I'm not when this trash bag filled up, we close it up, move it out, put another trash bag. It was crazy how much money. And so, maybe early 80s, maybe mid 80s. Anyway, the powers that be felt like you young guys shouldn't be making that much money. Hell, they still come up with these kind of things, right? You go-go bands shouldn't be make that much money, right? So we opened up a record label. You can govern us here in Rare Essence, but you can't govern us at the record label. So we opened up the record label. Great success.
Your
DC
first
Scorpio.
Oh, Scorpio was on that label too?
His song was our song.
Okay.
I'm a hustler.
Yeah, Stone Cold Hustler.
Yeah. BJ playing the keyboards. Do 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 do. Ned programming the. So Scorpio. Vinny D, $55 Motel. Michelle. I don't remember if she had changed her name then.
In the Jello.
In Degeo Cello.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm
Yeah,
not sure if.
Yeah. Hey, you know.
Say it up. Say it up.
You already know.
I'm not sure if she had changed her name yet, but she did have the song "Boyfriend," and we had a pretty good label. We did pretty well for ourselves, and that was the reason to do it is money. want money.
So what became of it?
I remember there was a little bit of animosity with the camp. Red Essence. I might not be remembering it correctly, but it felt like you shouldn't be having a record company doing other stuff other than this stuff. It just became a little muddy, and so I think, and then we probably had a couple of failures at the same time, so we just walked away from it.
So in saying that, do you feel as though that mentality, did you adopt that mentality when you started your own band, as far as you had the record company, then you was in the band, and it was they felt as though it was a clash. You didn't see really the clash, but so when you had the Familiar Face and Team Familiar and things of that nature, do you feel as though that not so much the band hopping, because that was I understand that's a no-no to you anyway, but would it be a difference if the person coming in, like you recruited a person that had their own, and you say, hey, I want you to, play with me? Would it be okay to still have their own, or they had to make a decision?
Sure.
Or okay?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. I think, and to me, because that's how I'm here. I wanted to start my own. And so if you have your own, say a person like Cal, who has always chased the rap game,
Right.
and he came into Essence with his own stuff, and so I'm going to play your game, and I'm going to play my game as well, because I've always protected me.
Right.
And so for sure, Googie, the first day we hired Googie, says anytime Pops plays, that's where I'm going to be.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm over here.
Right.
If you tell me whatever you tell me coming in the door, if we have an agreement, we good. Like, it's the other kind of way when it just kind of
happens. You already in the band,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you start something else, right?
It kind of happens. It kind of happens, and so yeah, I've always respected anybody. There's an Ant that's in my band now. He runs Top Five. And when he first came in, he was contemplating, leaving it alone. I'm like, no, that's yours. Chase that. I mean, that belongs to you.
Right. Right.
Marcus Young had his own band.
Right.
That's yours. I mean, that's how I got here. I wanted mine. And so I'm always good with that kind of stuff. But, we just have to have boundaries that everybody's comfortable with.
I want to play something. And this right here is another reason why I think you are truly iconic in our industry. Because it seems like this gift that you have, or whether it's taught or something self-learned or whatever the case may be, is missing from the whole scene right now. Let me play this real quick.
Africa, 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 home of the original sounds of Congo drums and beat that captivate the minds of us, for us to dance to it, express movement, bring togetherness, when we used to stamp the feet of mankind and chant the language that which is not understood of today's generation that dance to the music of go-go. That legacy still continue to the sounds of African music. So to define go-go music, it is an expression of love, peace, and unity that should not be mistaken for a sign of violent music. Through the years of technology, mankind have created instrument of our use. So to the music we shall keep the love, no hate, no violence, no animosity. It should only be love. So to bring to you different places and different races, I now present to you the millennium sound of Familiar Faces.
Waiting for that.
Let me tell you something. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about right here, this came out. You did this live at the Icon, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I brought it up is because your vision for production has, and you putting together, a show, and this is what led me to reach out to the brother about bringing Team Familiar over to Africa myself, because I knew that you would be a great representation for our culture over there, and you understood the big picture. So being right here, everything from this right here that we just listened to live at the Icon to various different things like the show that you did for Kim at the Howard Theater, which was incredible. The Hollywood Squares thing that you did at the Howard. Your vision for the big picture and big production, to me, has been unmatched. Where does that come from?
The old days. So whenever, so keep in mind, it's what everybody used to do.
Yeah, perform.
And I just never let it go. Everybody used to do it. EU would run down the steps in the Capitol Center with their outfits on from school days, and everybody used to put on big shows. We used to practice and practice and practice to put on a big show. And even the next generation, I remember great performances. Junkyard showing up in the paddy wagon, Northeast Groove was showing up in the helicopter.
Right.
That's tough.
Yes.
That's tough. And so, but we just got away from it. We just get away from it.
Think everybody's just trying to be too damn cool now?
I don't think it's cool. I just think at some point you get to a place where you feel like this is what it is, and enough is enough. Well,
tell us. Miss Lady and I, we was talking about a little bit. That what we just listened to, where did all that come from? Right there?
I believe that spiritually, it's the same. They would use the African drums to send messages, call and response, so to speak, from one village to the next, whether it was because a child was being born or somebody was getting married or somebody died, and then they would kind of talk back and forth through the drums and stuff like that. And go-go is so enriched in percussion and call and response. And so it's the same kind of thing. And I just feel a natural kinship to Africa and the way they celebrate their music. The guy who talked at the beginning, just a good guy from Africa, even though his name is Steve.
His American name. That's his American name.
Diallo was the drum company. He later was instrumental in taking Backyard over to Ghana. And so we've always represented our blackness any kind of way that we can.
Sis?
No, I was just saying that it's no doubt to me. Like I'm taking that clip and what I was just start shaking it. That's what go-go music does to you.
For sure.
So I always say, Dirk when I played with Vibe, Dirk used to always say, Tasha, don't get so angry at the people, because I used to be like, why they not dancing? Like, this is cranking. This is cranking. Like, this beat, nobody's saying nothing. Like, this beat within itself, this is cranking. Like, why they not moving? He was like, listen, don't get too upset at that. They feel it. They just, in their own right, however they do it, however they show it, it might not, physically they're not all over the floor, but it's doing something to them because they wouldn't be here, and
sure.
over and over and over again.
Sure.
And everybody say, well, what they do, it ain't cranking. Well, you come every week, so it's you here for something.
For sure.
So I'm saying just the music, and when I testified at the hearing, I was just like, it just does something to you. There's no denying the authentic genre of it within itself.
Right.
Like, just like you say, you have the bounce beat, you have the stuff, it does something to me too, but it don't do the same thing. So that's why I don't really classify it as, I'm with you on that. It's a subsidiary,
Right.
but, it's just not what I'm used to. It's not what
Right.
makes me, that feeling inside. So I get it. Like, and even the drums, you saying it goes back to the rhythm of the culture and everything, and, you pull it from it. It just, go-go just does something to you. And
No,
it's,
for sure,
it's
for
awesome.
sure. I think that the bass of go-go is always consistent with the percussion underneath, and people have put different things on top. Chuck would put jazz on top. Essence back then would put R&B on top. Backyard would put rap on top. So it's just a matter what you
When Trouble had with the funk.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just a matter of what you want to put on top. But you're right. To me, it's the greatest beat in the world. I call it steroids. Like whatever song it is, you add go-go to it, and it's ridiculous.
Yes, that's like the DJ that does the remixes for you.
Which one? Chuck Classic?
Chuck Classic.
Yeah.
Like he'll take a go-go and he'll take a regular song and just mix in the beat, and it should be like
Right.
And you know how people that's not really into the go-go's, they hear it on the radio, that's their side of it. They were like, oh, I didn't know if it was another song. I thought this was the song.
Yeah.
And then when they hear the radio song, they like, ew.
Right.
So
Yeah, when you hear Backyard play Hello and stuff like that.
yeah, you can't listen to Adele anymore. The
Yeah.
talent is there. She's immaculate.
Right.
But just hearing that and the pieces too.
Right,
when you hear stuff like that, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Right.
That's a good lead in, sis. Floyd, when did you first fall in love with go-go, and when and where were you?
I don't know. So keep in mind, whenever Troy asked me to be in their go-go band, I had never even heard of go-go. Troy Smoot.
Okay.
Troy, Bobby Smoot, we up Duke Ellington. And I was a saxophone player, and I had never even heard of go-go. So I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Which seems crazy now, but at the time, go-go might have only been 4 years old. Like, this was 79. And go-go, the best you hear about is that they started around 76. Yeah. So anyway, when I heard it, I just loved it. It was just unbelievable, that syncopation, the crank, the music was everywhere. These big-ass speakers. Even back then, it was 15-inch scoops, but they was big-ass speakers still. And just the power and what it made the kids, the way the kids dance. It's a whole thing. It's the culture. It's a whole inclusive culture. The way they dance, the way the band plays, all of that stuff. And so I just always, and I'm like you, I don't know how you can. That's Jam and Jeff and Mickey right behind me somewhere. How can you not be dancing? And they play hard. They play hard. So
that's why I was like, you might not like what I'm saying, or you might not the song that's going over top of it, but you can't deny that. That's like when hearing impaired people, they might can't hear the lyrics, but they feel the sensation.
I always thought it was the lane that Vibe was in. I thought they were smart to take that lane. Only other person that was in that lane, or two, Maisha and Chuck
and
Vibe, and because every section of go-go has these lanes.
Yeah.
And that section, because I'm older now, I'm dressed.
Yeah.
I'm nice. I'm sipping some wine. I'm a two-step, but you are absolutely cranking.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be bothered with the smoke in my clothes.
Exactly.
And all of that kind of
Exactly.
stuff. Love it all.
Right.
And so I always felt like that lane that Vibe was in. It was a perfect lane to be in. Grown, mature, bourgeois. Just cranking still.
Yeah.
The middle section is the grown and sexy. Not two-stepping yet.
Right.
Still want a little bit of edge to me. And then the young and restless, and they going. They
right.
We in.
Right.
I got some smoke. What you want?
Right. So, right. If you don't like it at the beginning, after you hit this, you will.
Right. And so everybody has a lane. Everybody has a lane for sure. And the most crowded lane is the I say young and restless, but they older. They just as old as we are.
Yes.
I don't say it in a disrespectful way.
Right. But yeah.
But that's Junk. That's Backyard. That's Essence. I mean, it's they busy down there.
Yeah.
You better have your shit together if you're
yes,
down there.
most definitely.
To me, Grown and Sexy is less busy, but the lane that Vibe is in is the least busy, and everybody has a lane, and everybody can get money.
Actually, I digress. I think that Grown and Sexy lane, because bands like Familiar, Subtle, Listen, and all of them made it so hot. Everybody was trying to get in that lane, and it's so because you do what you do, and you on the level you are. You probably don't see how much band. I don't want to badmouth nobody, but how many bands are not as good as y'all are actually trying to do what you're doing?
Yeah,
There's a
they
whole
kind of
shit-
ran that Grown
there's
and
a
Sex.
whole
Familiar
shitload of
ran
bands.
that like.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what I'm saying. I think I'm saying, I think I was more addressing Vibe that
Right.
every section needs entertainment, and I thought, hell, if I had a way of staying, that would have been it. Like
Right.
I can
Right.
calm down, not try to act so rowdy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that everybody, and I was just saying that there's a lot of bands that do the rough it off, I should say. A lot of bands that do the Grown and Sexy, and not as many that do the two-step is
Yeah.
how I would
Right.
classify it.
Right.
And that was a great, I mean, ain't never hurting for no monies over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always working. So,
Let me go off because you're a huge sports fan, and you and I are both Laker fans.
no.
You're not a Laker fan no more?
Never was a Laker fan.
Ooh, Nico.
My
Stick
favorite
to
player,
go-goologists.
my favorite player is Kobe Bryant.
Okay. That's why I took the.
Yeah, if the
understand.
Lakers lose 100-0, I'm all right with that. Just my man got to score.
Okay, that's right. So you're a Wizards man. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But you're a huge Kobe fan. Okay, well that kills that question right there. Then, so your all-time favorite player was Kobe? Is Kobe?
Yes. Yes. I like Rex Chapman too.
Seriously?
I love Rex Chapman. You know why? Because every time
Rex Chapman from Kentucky. Rex Chapman.
Yeah, and for the Wizards.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
And for the Bullets. But every time he went up for a shot, it looked like it was going in. It might have missed every time, but every time he went up,
He looked good doing it.
it looked like it was going in.
An athletic J.J. Redick.
Yeah, he was a mean white boy. But Kobe's my favorite. Kobe's my favorite.
Okay.
So they ruined,
I don't think he's the best.
They ruined your question.
Yeah.
I don't think Kobe's the best, but he's my favorite.
Yeah, switch that around.
Yeah. I had to leave that alone right there. You want to come in on this session?
Nope.
Okay.
let you drown.
Okay. Where did the concept from and the ideal of King of the Go-Go Beat come from?
Jim Curry, The Mask. Bojack was playing a Timbali beat, and I said, don't hold that. I mean, he was playing it on a different song. I said, nah, hold that. I got a perfect idea. Because The Mask was out, and Jim Curry had that section when he says, I'm the guy on the Cuban Pete. Da-da-da-da-da. When I play the timbales, we go chick, chicky, boom. And so that's how it came. And then we played, and then the band played Chuck Brown's music for Brero, Iscombrero, Iscombrero. Bum ba da bum bum bum. Bum ba da Brero, Iscombrero. In fact, it was funny. When I was playing with Chuck, I would always do about 3 songs. And Sheree was like, why don't you ever do King of the Go-Go Beat? And I said, I don't know. Because in my mind, I know that's his music, right? And they said, so finally we had rehearsal, and we starting to go through King of the Go-Go Beat, and Chuck is just looking like, wait. hey, son. That's my song. That's my music you play. I go, yeah. it's in honor of you, Chuck. But I never played it with Chuck. 'Cause
Right.
I knew
Right.
that's his shit. Like, leave his shit alone.
So piggyback off of that, how do you feel these days about? Me personally, I think it's okay to play Chuck stuff because Chuck is no longer here.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. So how do you feel about the bands that, okay, it's okay to tribute and call this a tribute show or not, but to consistently play someone that's still living? Like, I mean, if you wrote it, you wrote it. Where you wrote it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you feel about the bands that, every night after night, if I'm Team Familiar and I'm playing Junkyard?
Yeah, I don't care for it, and I mean at all.
Right.
But again, I'm older, and so I don't know if I say it's right or wrong. That's just a matter of opinion. I don't care for it. If there's a night in which we're honoring
Right.
Pops,
Right.
have at it. But outside of that, play your shit.
Right.
I mean, like, play your shit. Like, it don't make sense to me. But on the flip side, James Funk had a different perspective, which would make it more than okay. Like, Funk was like, so you telling me, so this is do the right thing. Like, I got something on this side
Right.
and something.
Right.
So Funk would say, so you telling me this guy from New York, we can play his rap song, but your brother, we don't have enough respect for him to play his song. And that's true as well.
Right.
I understand.
That's true as well. That's respect. Like, we can't play Sardines and Pork and Beans. It's a hit song.
Right.
And your brother made it up. Why wouldn't you help your brother? Why would you help? Because for sure, when you playing the latest Jay-Z, it helps Jay-Z.
Definitely.
Them record sales.
Definitely.
For sure. And so Funk was like, why wouldn't you play your brother's song and help them out? So I see both sides of it. And so it's a matter of what's your preference? Mercedes, BMW? I mean, what you want?
Right.
What you want?
I understand, but when you break it down like that, it makes it even worse for me because Junkyard is playing the same night you are down the street.
That's true.
So it's like, hold up. If I wanted to go see Junk, I'll go see Junk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Jay-Z's not here. He's in New York or whatever the case may be. Probably not playing because I was telling Nico this, like Go and now, the musicians, I think we play more than the typical national artists. Like they tour, 3 to 4 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Like Go is consistent. I think that we probably the hardest working genre out here.
Easily. I mean, the fact that I'm going to retire after 40 years proves that.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm, no doctor called me with bad news, and I'm still somewhat relevant. So, that just kind of proves it.
Huh?
Well,
You funny. I gotta laugh at that because
I've heard you say that it's best to go out while you still on top versus while you just
the old retirement plan was bad. It's either you wait till you're irrelevant or you pass away.
while you still doing it, right? Yeah.
And so I just I think I like, and then my style is different too. I was saying that I'm not like Pops, who playing the guitar and singing Moody's blues, and Pops was older when we met him.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to be this 20-year-old rowdy guy, and I'm 55 now, and it just don't seem right to me, And so I just thought, let me get out of here.
Well, I still can't, because you see the the Ron Isleys and the Frankie Beverleys, and you see those.
Oh, that
you see
hurts my heart.
hurts my heart. And you go and it's like the parts he's supposed to sing, and he like, yeah, y'all sing.
Right.
Like, no, we pay for you to sing, and it's like,
top dollar.
I'm not doing this again this
Right.
year. Like,
I finally had to say that about Patty. Like, I love you, Patty. I can't do this no more.
but who didn't miss a step?
Who's that?
Anita Baker.
Yeah, she's serious. She's serious.
She said, this my last go around. This it, I'm going, and because we haven't seen Anita Baker in a long time.
But she's not in their age group either.
Yeah, right.
She's not in their age group either.
She's not. And we haven't seen her in a long time. That's just like if Sade was to come out and be like, I'm going on a tour.
Yeah.
Everybody like, oh, yes. And then
Right.
if it's not good, we like, oh, my God.
Right.
Because it's been a minute. But Anita didn't miss a note, a step. She had her Easy Spirits on after a while, but
Wow.
you know, but after that, it just
Phenomenal. Can you imagine there was a record label that passed on her? I mean, what is that all about?
that's what they do. That's what they do. Just like Jill Scott tells the story about when she used to have to send her stuff in with her. She removed her picture because they were so based on image. You know, the light skin, the small, the petite.
Yeah.
You know, and she said she got so many, you know, turn downs because she put her picture on her thing, you know, heavy girl, you know, natural braids or bush or thing, and they thought that was so just black power. And she said once she started taking her picture off of things, they would then, you know what I'm saying, call her in. They would call her in, but then when they would see her, it would be like, we didn't know you would look like this. But then when she got the chance, when Erykah Badu was not there with the Roots, and she got the chance to do that, it was all over from there. So it's always, me as personally, like, when you put yourself in the position and you get there, show off.
For sure.
Because that might be your first and your last.
Yeah. I was saying that crazy statistic, there's no mega famous ugly female singer. It's a beauty conscious industry that we're in.
Yeah.
And the history of it. What's her name?
I'm looking like,
Damn, if I say it, it's going to be disrespectful, but Nina Simone, maybe.
Yeah, back then. Yeah.
Nina Simone, but who else?
Yeah.
But you said mega. Yes, I
Mega star,
yeah.
singer, female, ugly. What's her name? Ain't one. It's a socially, I mean, we pay attention to that. I mean, unfortunately.
I know they on that.
Huh?
I know the channel.
We pay, I mean, could Precious have been,
No.
could Precious have been a famous singer?
No. But now you have these, okay, so like, so you got a point. You have Lizzo now. Lizzo is easy on the eyes. She's a beautiful young lady, you know what I'm saying, facial, you know, but she's thick. So you have your thicks like your
selling that.
No, hold on. You have your thicks like your Jill Scott. She's not selling that. Your Queen Latifah, your rappers, she was selling the you know, but she could sing. Yeah. So she felt as though, how I'm gonna get over? What's gonna go first? I want to sing.
But even still, Latifah is attractive. I'm saying ugly.
Yes. I feel you.
Bigger, we've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen that, but that's like back to the Fight the Power thing. When the lady that was on Fight the Power, her voice was like in the video. It was a little girl in that joint singing, and she like, wait a minute. Right. That's me. Like, why? Why you didn't ask me to be in this video? Right. And I've noticed that with Go-Go too, we tend to do those same things.
For sure. For sure.
We tend to do those same things.
For sure.
And I think it's changing now for the bands that are out, and because it's kind of like if you can sing type of thing. Mm-hmm. You've seen that it's a lot of thick sisters now on the front line. I think Yanni kind of like tore that kind of image around. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could be sexy too. But in the beginning, I think it was groomed to be, just like the regular music industry. Because we wanted to be on that level as, what are they doing that's making them successful? So let's kind of implement that. And that's
there's a incredible female singer in our midst, and not so attractive, and not with a major band. I mean, that's where we at. Yeah. I mean, and it's sad, but I mean, that's how it's true.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think a lot of people should just broaden their horizons, and I know it's, and then you have some people that just don't do it. I mean, male and female, you don't do anything, you just look good. And my thing is it worth it? Because I don't want to come see you. Because I think another thing that Go-Go is lacking, and we're failing at, is just like the stage performance. We're like kind of like the only people that dance on stage in the dark.
Right.
Like, you would never go to the, Verizon Center or the Constitution Hall and go see Jill Scott and you're like, where is she?
Right.
Like, so you want to see the band, you want to see everybody. And I think we're the only people that just dance in the dark, perform in the dark. Now, do you have your stage lights, and when you do the Familiars and the Red Essence and the Trouble Funks, when they put on the, that's mandatory. It's kind of mandatory. Right. But a lot of the clubs are not equipped with that stuff. You have to bring them in. The DJ brings them in, or the sound equipment people bring them in. But I think that's another thing that Go-Go's kind of missing, like just the production of it all.
I mean, for sure. In fact, the Anthem probably has one of the best light shows in the country, and we still brought another $5,000 worth of lights in.
You hit, you hit, you hit.
Anthem, the light show at the
Woo.
Anthem was ridiculous, and we still brought more lights in.
Y'all heard it.
Past or present?
Hold on real quick, Nico. I got piggyback. On Go-Go Radio Live, they said Grace Jones.
Yes, for sure. For sure, Grace Jones.
Ugly, but
For sure, Grace.
You say she ugly?
But
I mean,
ugly.
just not a.
But ugly. No, for sure. And there's some borderline people, little Stephanie Mills. I mean, you can come up with a
Funny
couple.
looking, yeah, like
And,
yeah,
but when
right.
but if you neo soul now
Yeah.
and you eccentric, well,
That's
then
now.
you do that
That's
too.
Macy Gray to me.
Yeah, but none of them, by the way, are mega stars.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what you're saying. Like
Yeah, none of them are mega
your
stars.
looks. And that's why these girls out here changing their faces and altering their
She
bodies
went
and
back
stuff
to
like that.
Grace Jones.
They said it on the live. Somebody
Pull
put,
up
man,
to my
Grace.
bumper.
Hey, that's a nasty lady right there. In your long black limousine.
Yeah.
I like her style.
Yeah.
We gotta get ready to get him up out of here. I got a couple of questions for you, Go. One, past or present, any band other than the bands you've been in, if you wanted to see one particular band, you was like, you know, I love to see them regardless. Who would that band be? Go-Go.
1980 Rare Essence. 1980 Rare Essence, Jungle Boogie, David Green,
My
DC, Lil Benny, Big
favorite.
Horn,
Yeah, that's my
Foots,
favorite.
Godfather, Maki, Joey Robb.
Yeah, Joey's before Mike came in.
Yeah.
Why did Familiar break up the first time, and what made you bring them back?
They broke up?
Well, took a break.
Okay.
I would say so because you had different members when you came back too,
Yeah.
and that goes to the whole Steve Roy thing and all that. Because when you did come back, you know, you already made mention of that in the interview.
Yeah, it was a little internal power struggle going on, and I'm gonna probably just leave it with that. And so I just stepped away. I guess I was spoiled. I guess I took my ball and went home. I guess you know what I mean. It was a little internal power struggle going on, and so as opposed to being a bad band member, I'm gonna just get out your way. That's easy as I can say it.
Okay, because it like when you took a break, you was actually playing with Let It Flow for a period.
I
of
was
time.
the free agent that I talk about.
Right.
Let it flow,
You was the
Chuck.
helicopter.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I was the free agent. Yeah.
You got anything? I got one last question that will
Gotta
close
be
it
the
out.
gotta be the last
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Oh, you should have discussed that with me because my question ain't funny.
I mean, you got the list. You got the list.
No, so my thing is, so you're leaving, you're retiring. That doesn't mean that we'll never see you again. Things of that nature. In this same aspect, yes, but you still be around. You with us. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with
You're
you.
here.
Be
So
around.
if you had to, it's kind of a two-part question. So I know Nico was saying, the gold and, the king of the go-go beat and, things of that nature. Do you think names are more respected if they are given or if you do them yourself? Like you saying, like somebody be like, yeah, like how Muhammad Ali was like, I'm the greatest of all time. Like, yeah, he was conceited with his. So do you think people respect him more if somebody says, yeah, like,
I think so. I think given is always a name that's given to you is always more flattering than the name you gave yourself. I mean, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think that if you give yourself the name, it may or may not be true.
right, because you're going to be biased. You're going
Right.
to choose you all the time.
Right. It may or may not be true, for sure.
Okay. And if you could say, pass the torch, if you would have to, what would you be passing it as, and who would it go to?
Well, if I assume that I had the torch, which I don't.
Why? I mean, but why? I know that we all into modesty and humbleness and things of that nature, but I mean, it's clearly evident you've made such an impact, you know what I'm saying, on this genre. And I mean, just because Chuck was the originator and, you know, the godfather of go-go and things of that nature, everybody makes their different impact.
Yeah.
You know, so you do have a choice. And before I came in, Nico was saying, you know, how you changed the number 2. You know, how you changed how that was done. And I think it's been altered again, you know, because, you know, the rappers are doing different things. Because now your rappers are singing and your rappers are, you know, talking and your rappers are doing that thing. But you changed the model of the number 2. So if you could pass the torch, and you do have it, I don't care what you say and how you feel. I'm saying it to you, just like you say, if a name is given to you, you have a torch. Right. And it's lit, you know, and on the 24th on Sunday, you don't blow it out.
So I think to me, Genghis, Big G, whatever we call him, Anwan, whatever. I think he's so much Pops to me. Like he, and the reason I say it wasn't because Pops and Genghis had the respect of industry and the crowd. Right. Industry never really. I was never industry's favorite. Like, I'm not playing around with you. I'm not.
Right.
But Genghis is so grown, the way he handles himself, the way he stands up and represents go-go. He's the face of go. We had played at the Echo Stage. I was saying this the other day. We had played at Echo Stage, and there was this cake in the dressing room, and I was like, who put this cake in here? And I really didn't even pay no attention. When I finally went over, it was a thing about Foots, and that was my best friend in the world. And I was like, who in the world put this cake in here? And it comes out, it was Genghis. Not for no money, he wasn't involved in the show. He wasn't making no appearances. I mean, that's just some big boy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and just the way he handles himself, carries himself, represents our music. To me, he's that guy that the younger bands look up to. And I'm an older guy, and I look up to him. The way he handles himself on social media, if I had that kind of energy, I would want to be just like that. Like, you know, I'm standing out front of the Aqua. Right. Yeah. I'm at the ticket line. Yeah. Come on down, this is where we go. Yeah. Ah, damn, gang. I mean, you working. You working.
Yeah, and he was just appointed the DC's nightlife commissioner.
Man, he's working. He's working. And every so often, when there's little things in go-go that's out of line with the stars, he gets in that too. Yeah. Like, and rightfully so. Whenever Bugs and Rapper Dude, I mean, he you know, he found his way. So I mean, I just think that Ging, where he is just where, you know, that's who people should look to. That's who people should look to. In terms of Team Familia, I know that Steve Roy is going to do an incredible job. They're going to keep that brand going, and I'm glad. I didn't know if they would or not. They've decided that they would, and I think Steve is he's an incredible talent. Nico was saying what made me bring him in earlier, and I just thought he was a great rapper. That's it. Right. Like, you know, that's it. But when he, I mean, the way he sings, I knew he could sing, but I didn't know he could sing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and it was just the opposite for me. When I met him, he was just singing.
Yeah, he was just singing.
I didn't know he was rapping until he got into the band. Yeah, I was like, okay. You know, so, how long ago did you actually, I mean, how long has it been in your mind, like, I'm ready to get out?
When I was 50, I remember saying, 50. I can't imagine myself being 55 and still being on the stage. I just knew it. I was like, I don't want to be there like that. When I was 50, I remember saying it on my 50th birthday. I'm like, wow. When I'm 55, I gotta get out of there.
Wow. So, was Roy? Because I said this. I don't know what anybody else said. I said this. When I first heard you say you was going to retire, I say, he looked at Roy as like, Slim, I want you to step in these shoes. Don't know if that's the fact or whatever the case may be, but I'm asking right now.
No, I don't know if I don't know if I approach stuff like what I want you to do. I approach stuff like what I want me to do. You know what I mean? And so the circumstances, I really don't fall too much into that kind of stuff. I think Steve Roy is the captain of his own ship, and wherever he decides to steer himself, God bless him. He has all the tools he needs.
No doubt.
And the rest is on him. And so no, I didn't like people say that to me, like not about Steve, but just in general, like who's gonna da 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 da, and I selfishly don't care. Yeah. Like whoever. I mean, there's more than enough people. Follow who you like.
The name is yours. Are you okay with them being Team Familiar? I mean, because it's your brand, so.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. I think that they'll do a great job. I know that Jammin' Jeff is going to be involved, and Mickey's going to be involved.
Oh, yeah.
And so I mean, them two incredible guys. Jeff has run his own band for years and years and
multiple
years.
Bands.
Yeah.
Multiple bands for years and years and years. He understands commerce, like Baba.
Of course. Right. Of course.
Even when there was some young Northeast Groovers, I think him and Hug and them put together and opened up the record store, right?
That's right.
On Central Avenue. So yeah. So I like it. I like it all the way around.
And before you ask your last question, one of the questions that I thought was a good question online is say, if somebody said, D-Floyd is remembered. They always say what you want to get remembered by, like when you pass away and stuff, but you're not passing away, you just retired.
Right.
But like,
Thank
what
God.
would you want to be remembered? When they speak your name, what would you want it to,
Just that I gave what I had to give. Like, you see band
Gave
members.
my whole life.
Yeah, you're slogan.
You get so you see band members who sometimes seem like they just up there just for the money of it, or this is what we got to do. But I really love it, and I want to bring people happiness. So that's what I want to be remembered for. Whether it was one person or 1,000 people, I gave everything I had every single night. That's what I want to be remembered for.
All right, so we're going to go out on this question right here. And I think it makes sense all in the world. I'm sure a lot of people would like to know. What's the first thing you're going to do after the show on the 24th?
The first thing after the show on
and
the
moving forward.
The 25th.
Yeah, the 25th.
Right.
I think I'm going to take a vacation. I still work for Verizon, but I'm going to just take a vacation. And
you have a spot picked out already?
Miami is my favorite place. I don't care what we're talking about.
Right.
Really?
Okay.
I don't care where I've been all over the world. Miami is easily my favorite place.
Okay.
Just take a vacation. I've never been able to, like different people have had breaks in their career.
Mm-hmm.
Since '83 with Ransons, I never, ever, ever had a break. We was always playing. Even when it was 5 people coming to the party, we always played 3, 4, 5 times a week. So it's just going to be refreshing just to be able to take a weekend vacation. It ain't got to be Monday and Tuesday, right? And that kind of stuff. So that's what I really just want to fall back.
Is the family gonna have the same sentiments? Are you gonna get on their nerves? Be like, yo, I have a show. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, right. I'll be somewhere in the basement practicing my little saxophone. They'll be all right. Yeah, they'll be all right.
Well, there it is. You heard it from the king of the go-go beat. He gave his whole life, and in order for you, if you really love this man. Is
there going to be a CD, not a DVD? Is there going no CD either, y'all?
Oh, okay.
So
if you love this man, show out.
We did
Sunday.
We did record Thursday night at Nipsey's.
Okay.
And that was somewhat the last show.
Tell me the one y'all advertised. It's going to be the last one.
Yeah. We did record that night.
Yeah. Okay.
So
y'all heard it here.
I came up. Yeah.
So y'all heard it here. If you are,
not just Thursday, but the Thursday before that.
Yeah.
Thursday before that.
I came up. Yeah, and well, when y'all advertised, Roy wasn't on the stage.
Everybody was there on this one.
Okay.
It was the
you
last
must
one
have
that
did
they
another
played
one.
up there.
Yeah.
At Nipsey's.
It was our last show. We haven't played since
haven't
then.
played
Okay.
since then.
Okay.
Yeah. So y'all heard it. He said no DVD, no CD. So if you miss it,
You've missed it.
you've missed it.
That's it.
And nobody's battery is that good that you gonna get this whole joke from beginning to end. I don't know y'all iPhone 11 users. Y'all might have a little
Man, we got tricks, man. We got crazy tricks, man.
Girlfriend,
gonna
you
be
gotta go
nice.
to work. You better call off. She was like, I gotta go to work. Oh my God. You better call off.
Yeah.
And look, and I know I'm not going to be here. I had to work Go Awards
Yes, the
Sunday.
Go-Go Awards you could,
not
yeah.
this Sunday. I will be there. So look, this Sunday. What's the time on the event?
First band starts at 6 o'clock. Last band ends about 11 o'clock.
From what I understand, and me and Miss Ladies had this experience, I believe you've been down there. No cash down there to get in, right?
No cash
No
venue.
cash
That's
venue.
right.
That pay
That's
bar is all credit card.
That's right.
No cash venue.
No cash venue.
No
So
cash.
that's
And
an
and
important note,
bring,
yo.
Yes, that
and bring
is.
something extra because we selling shit.
Yeah.
I'm selling CDs, DJs, everything.
Oh yeah, you better get it.
selling
Get
shit.
some memorabilia going on.
Yeah, we selling shit. So yeah, no cash.
There we go. So get your tickets. Everybody got them. Jahar, Kirky.
Anybody on the M2G staff, my
Yes,
girl Amanda.
yes,
Shout out
yes.
Amanda. That's my boo.
Yeah,
That's my boo.
yeah.
That's my
100 Proof Los. Congratulations to Los.
promoter of the year.
Who else?
Yeah.
Who am I forgetting?
Mo Kemp.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Strawberry
Kevin
Brotherly
House,
Love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Barry D.
Yeah. So get your tickets. Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster for sure.
You know.
And don't go. He said don't go on them little aftermarket Jones because people
Yeah.
buying the tickets up and then
Yeah.
selling them tripling.
It's enough
tripling.
people we're mentioning right now.
Yeah.
Catch them. They all legit.
Unless you wait till Sunday at 4 and trying to get a ticket
Right,
and
right.
nobody has any.
Yeah, but we'll be
you
at
know?
the door. They got tickets at the door always.
There it is. So get your tickets. Show this man the love and respect that he deserves. Come on out. It's a 6,000 seater.
6,000 seater. Yeah.
There's no excuses.
Right.
Come on through. No excuses. I honestly, like, I've been at Echo Stage where, I think they put up to 3 up in there, right? And is that about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three.
Yeah.
Somewhere
This
right
is
in
double
that.
that. All right? Come on out. Come out, celebrate this man. He's not dead. We always talk about giving roses to those who
While
still
they
here.
living.
That's
While they
right.
living.
Do that. We'll see you there.
It's one guy named Chico Austin. He said he appreciated you. Other than him playing with the regulation band, you was the first one that gave him a chance to sing, and he was, been singing.
Oh,
ever since.
Chico, that's my man.
Mm-hmm. So you was the
Chico,
first one
what's
that ever
up?
gave him a chance.
Yeah, Chico can sing.
Yeah.
He on some Levert shit.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You heard it, Chico. He said he appreciate the love, man. He appreciate the love.
That's it. So, very in-depth interview. Greatly appreciate your time.
Appreciate you having me.
All right, so we getting ready to get out of here on this right here. Probably one of his most iconic songs. And we'll see y'all Sunday, man. Thank you for tuning in to GoWIN Radio Show right here on GoGo Radio Live. I'm Nico the Go-Goologist. She's Miss.
I'm Miss Lady. Yes.
And this is the king of the Go-Go
Miss
beat.
Lady, baby.
I like it.
He gave his whole life.
Africa, Africa, Africa,
Can't get it right.
Africa, Africa, Africa. Home of the original sound.
Competition's on the other side of the hallway.
Yeah! Spencer dedication went out to my man, that Tigger. This is his sound here. This is jam here with my man Mix. Yeah! Yeah! With my man Big Mike from the 5-0 crew. Right, young Mike. Come on! Say what? Yes, indeed. Yeah. One more time. Get on down, Calvino. Get on down, baby. Also, we got my man Donnell over there. Good to see you, baby.
What's your name, baby? Hello, Shannon. What's your name, girl? Sweet Bonita in here. Yeah, we got Lisa. Yeah, we know Sweet Lisa. Park Road. Say what, baby?
Yeah! Come on! Come on!
Happy birthday, Lisa. Yes, indeed. Also, we got Sweet Pussy and all the crew.
Sugar Daddy, yo!
Yo! No on the front wall. Hit on down flow. Say what? Woo!
Yeah!
Hanging up on people cooking. We got my man Bobby Brown here. Say what? My man Sherman and Don. Say what? What's up, Stu? We got the 20 Mile Wild crew. We got my main man Dirk. Clinton man the crew. And Sweet Candy too, y'all. I say what? Ooh, what's up, woo? My man Snoop.
Yeah!
My man Darryl.
Yeah!
Big H Brad.
Yeah!
My man Fats.
Yeah!
Big Joel.
Yeah!
Main man Joaquin.
And get the lights
Say
out!
what? You wanna run away? Say what?
And Sugar Daddy, yo! Yo!
You wanna run away?
Go on the chest, yo! Yo!
You wanna run away?
Yeah! Savannah chest, yo! Yo!
Oh, we got one man Brock up in here tonight, baby. Good to see you, man. Jimmy and Sheree.
Man, Lance, yo!
Say what? You wanna run away? Say what? Hold on, buddies.
Hey, house man, yo!
Say what? You wanna run away? Say what? Say what?
Thanks for pouring the show!
You wanna run away? Say what? Say what? Oh, go ahead, girl.
Live the bowling, yo!
Say what? You wanna run away? Go ahead, girl. Get on down, Carlisle. Go on and get your freak on, girl.
Gettysburg, yo!
Say what? You wanna run away? We got your ghost.
Yeah!
Oh, watch yourself, baby. Yo, check it. And now it ain't no party like a RE party, cause a RE party don't stop. It ain't no party like a RE party, cause a RE party don't stop. It ain't no party like a RE party, cause a RE party don't stop. Beverly, it ain't no party like a RE party, cause a RE party don't stop. Bring it on, uh-oh.
Oh!
Say what? We got my main man Quincy. Say what? Say what? Go ahead, girl. Yes, indeed. My man Lazy Joe. Excuse me, baby. Say what? Get on down, girl. Say what? Yes, indeed. Run out to Pricey Road. My man Big Ty. Sweet Beverly. Say what? Say what? Say what? Oh, hey, what's that? Bling, bling, bling.
Go on the chest, yo! Yo, my shooter's at!
Bling, bling, bling.
Hey, Rocky!
Bling, bling, bling.
Jam and Jeff, yo! Yo, my shooter's at!
Say what?